Hi everyone. I'm going to call today our Thanksgiving special. But I wanted to come on. Well, first off, I didn't check in last night. I wanted to, but it was like really late when I finished, and I just wanted to go to sleep. So I have been working on what I've been talking about, taking those steps to break through this wall of blockages that I'm having. So my intention had been to get in touch with 60 people. I got in touch with 30 people, but that's better than it was the day before. And tomorrow will be even better. Today I didn't really have the chance. I will work a little tonight, but I just got home from family Thanksgiving stuff, and I mean, it's family Thanksgiving, right? You gotta do that. But I wanted to sort of talk about like Thanksgiving, right? Like giving thanks. That's sort of my bag, right? Thinking about being grateful for things, and anybody who has been following along, but good chance you haven't. Well, first, okay, let me start with this. I'm doing these videos, you may or may not know, I'm doing these videos as examining my emotions and learning how to deal with them in a more healthy way than I have in the past. And I'm doing that to present myself as a case study for other people who may have difficulty handling their emotions and not know what to do with them, panic and do stupid stuff like I used to do. So that's number one, pre-explainer. And then number two is, if you have been tuning in, you may have noticed that I have recently gone through a breakup, but it was with someone who we loved each other very much. Outside circumstances meant we had to break up. It's sad. I'm getting over it, all that fun stuff. But he moved to New Jersey to be closer to his sister because of a lot of reasons. This week he went back to Egypt, where he's from, to go take care of his mother, and his mother's the person who the circumstance has been about that we had to break up. So I'm not quite sure what happened. He and I haven't been talking. We haven't been really communicating, but I did find out from him the other day that he was going to go back there for a few months. And what that means basically is that there's a really super good chance that he's going to get engaged while he's there. And that's because over there they have to get engaged to someone in order to get to know them. So they don't date, they get engaged, and then they get to know the person, and it's like, oh, hey, okay, I can stand you. Let's get married. Like, hey, I don't hate you, basically. That seems to be my impression of the way it works. But it works for them, so who am I to judge? But that means that, there's just like, this whole experience it's actually been very good, because I've really come to trust the universe, and where she's leading me in this whole experience. The more I pay attention, the more obvious it is to me that this is how the universe is doing this for me in a really gentle way. So it's, it went with him, it was like back and forth, were we gonna break up, da 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 da, and then it's been happening piece by piece. And I thought the final piece was him moving to New Jersey, but I think the final piece is him going to Egypt and getting engaged. That's my guess. But the thing is, the point is what's going on in my head and what's going on in my heart and how I'm coping with it. So it's not really the outside circumstances, right? So that's what I want to talk about. Number one is, there's, as to be expected, there's a lot of pain and sadness associated with it. However, what I'm focusing on is the gratitude I have that he was in my life to begin with. I was listening to Michael Singer this morning, as I do, often. And he was talking about, like, not, okay, per usual, not identifying with the feeling, but also not listening to the voice in your head and just allowing it to be, allowing it to do what it does. Don't try and stop it, because that's just a whole boatload of stress and it's not going to work, and it's just more frustration. And that's what I used to do, and it caused problems. But just to relax and release, right? And it's one of the things that I remember him saying, not him, my ex, but him, Michael Singer, in the various lectures I have listened to, talks about a pond and its ripples, and how your heart, your emotions are like the pond. You can just watch the ripples on the water and observe it, right? And that's like our emotions. The ultimate goal is to be able to watch the ripples in our heart and in our heart energy, and just, watch it, observe it, not be it, but relax and release it and let it go through us and accept it as an experience, as a human experience. And that's what I'm going for. Matthew, thank you. You will get someone way better. I appreciate the sentiment. That's not really the point or my goal. My goal is to be healthy and happy with myself, because other people can't fix you. One has to be happy wherever one is, in whatever situation one is in. Because if you wait for the outside to be what you want it to be in order for you to be happy, you'll never be happy. If you wait for someone to come and make you happy, you're never going to be happy, because your happiness depends on something else or someone else, and that's not healthy. What I am going for, and what I urge others to go for, is to really get to know what it's like to release that energy, and not hold on to it, right? That's the key. This is what I'm trying to talk about. You don't want to hold on to this energy. I don't want to hold on to the sadness I feel. Naturally, I'm going to feel sad. Naturally. I'm going to feel pain, and I'm going to wish things were different. But I can just observe those thoughts and feelings. And of course, that's how I feel. And I can just allow them to be and run through me. Because ultimately, no matter what the situation, one has to be happy where one is. Because your happiness can't depend on something outside of you. Otherwise, you'll never be truly happy. So what I was focusing on today was, okay, so observing the pain, observing the hurt, whatever, but also focusing, switching my focus, because this is something that I did a lot when I was depressed, when I was having all the issues, and I'm not saying I don't have the issues still, but when I was unaware and did not know what to do with my emotions, the disturbance in your emotional, in your heart, right? Your disturbance, the thing that's always going to catch your attention, what's always going to catch your focus, is the thing that's wrong, right? The thing that is disturbed, whether it's outside or inside. You're going to key in on the thing, because that's how we evolved, right? We're like, that thing just moved. It moved. Okay, no, it's not a lion. It's just a breeze blowing the grass, right? Like, we have to be attuned to things. So that's naturally where our focus goes. So if there's a disturbance inside, that's everything else, that's totally fine, because everything, well, maybe not everything else is totally fine, but there are parts that are good, right? But those aren't the parts that we focus on. We focus on the parts that hurt, the parts that that are causing a disturbance. And what I used to do, and I know a lot of people do, is tense up and try and keep it away, and start stressing and like, I have to fix this. I have to fix this. Like this, I don't like this feeling. I have to fix the problem. But that's not what I have to do. That's not what anybody has to do. Don't try and fix the problem, because the problem is not the problem. The problem is you. The problem is that I couldn't handle my emotions. That was the problem. Not the emotions, not the situation that caused the emotions. The problem was that I couldn't handle the emotions. So now what I'm doing is I am practicing, like, because I can feel myself tense up and I get lost. Don't get me wrong. I am not fantastic at this. You know what I mean? Like, I am working at it every day. But it's so much better. It's so much better than what it was before. Because before, when I thought what I needed to do was fix the situation so I didn't feel this way, and that this feeling could potentially, not that I ever thought in my head this is going to kill me, but I felt it, right? I do admit that that's something I felt like it was life and death. And that stuff comes from our past, right? Those come from abandonment issues. Those come from mom and dad and what happened when you were little, and all those formational experiences in your life, right? That left the scars. Those are the things we have to let go. And this is how we do it. We let go of whatever comes up. And what's coming up is the sadness I feel over the breakup. But also recognizing that I can feel that. I don't have to touch it. I can lean away from it. It can be what it is, and I can focus on something else. And what I'm focusing on is the gratitude that I have in my heart for the relationship. It was an amazing relationship. It taught me to love myself more. It showed me that I can be loved for exactly who I am. I'd never allowed myself to be exactly who I am in a relationship before, but with this past ex, it started out as a friendship, and it was never meant to be anything else. So I just let it all hang out. There was nothing holding. I held nothing back, because who cared, right? And that's when we fell in love. And I felt loved for exactly who I was and who I am, and knowing that I can be loved for that and adored for that is a really good feeling. Like, oh, okay, I'm not terrible. Which is what, a lot of people who are depressed kind of feel about themselves, that they're terrible or unlovable or whatever. So there's so many things I can be grateful for that have come from that relationship. I mean, not the least of which is when it ended, I began this journey of learning to handle my emotions differently, really checking in and just allowing that to happen. So this is my Thanksgiving message to you. When things are disturbing you, disturbing your peace, well, first decide if it's worth giving up your freedom over, because all of a sudden you become a prisoner to this thing, right? If you're focusing on it and I mean, I've done this so many times, guys. We all do it. But, do I want to feel that way? Do I want to focus on that feeling? Or do I want to look and see the good that came from it? And there was so much good that's come from it. That's come from the relationship and the ending of the relationship. And I can be grateful for both things, both for the relationship and for its end. It doesn't necessarily make me happy, the end, but the gratitude is the important part, and the learning. There's a lot of fear and anxiety and uncertainty and insecurity and all these emotions that can be triggered by not knowing how to handle your emotions. And the more that you learn to handle them, and it's never perfect. It's never perfect. And you can only, it's a practice, right? You just keep working at it. But the more you do it, the more you see you're capable of it. I was with family today, which a lot of us were. And a lot of the old patterns come back when you're around family, right? In particular, I have this thing with my father, where I get very tense when he speaks about certain things, or when he acts in a certain way. I get very tense. And I'm quick to anger, which is not like me at all in any other situation. But with him, it's like, and I did not think to relax and release. He's my biggest challenge. He really is. Not him, but my emotions. And see, he's not the problem. He is not the problem. My emotions around him are not the problem. What is the problem is me trying to do something about the emotions and wanting to change them, wanting to do something. Yeah, wanting to do something about it. So I was not present and aware enough today to relax in that, to be able to relax and release. I really want to be able to get there. I really do. But anyway, I can be grateful for that realization. But it was nice to be around family. I'm just babbling now. I don't really have much more to say. I'm just going to leave you with that thought, that even when things that you love are lost, and your hopes for the future, for a certain future, fly away, you can be grateful that they were there to begin with. You can be grateful for what they taught you while they were there, and what they taught you when they left. You can be grateful for the opportunity to practice letting go, relaxing and releasing, leaning away and observing the emotions, observing the heart working inside of you. You can be grateful for those things. I can be grateful for those things. And I hope that you out there in TV land always remember that you can choose to have a grateful